Hi, I'm Dave. This is Allie.
And this is our dog Winston.
We have a 2015 2500 Ram Promaster 159 wheelbase.
Dave and I decided to build a van together after dating for a little bit. Instead of getting a stationary house, we decided to build a van to be able to travel all over the country. Right now we are in Boulder, Colorado. We spent a year in Michigan building on our van. So the process was a little bit challenging because you have very, very cold weather. So those months were pretty challenging because we had to find time in the day where there wasn't snow on the ground. The spring and the summer were much easier. So luckily we had help from family to be able to build in a garage for most of our cabinets and storage and everything like that, but a lot of the electrical work we had to do inside the van when it was cold. That was a bit challenging, but it was so worth it because everything turned out beautiful and we don't regret any of it.
So from behind the driver's seat here, we have our 2-burner propane gas stove. We tried to keep it a distance away from the seat, but we wanted to make sure we have a giant countertop here to give us as most space as we can. So we can cook here and someone can do something over on the other side as well. Behind our stove and sink here, we have a ceramic backsplash. We chose a white color to have our whole color palette be bright and light inside the van. We chose not to have any windows. We wanted to keep it more stealthy, maximize our insulation and airflow. We put 2 fans up in here. By keeping everything light and bright as far as color goes, it opens up the space and gives it more of a homey feeling that's bright enough to not feel like you're closed in or claustrophobic at all. For our sink, we went with a medium-sized sink that is about 9 inches deep. Our measurements kind of went off of what a normal size sink would be and made it into more of an RV size. We wanted to maximize our full counter space but not limit the amount of dishes that we could fit in here or how difficult it would be to wash them. Our faucet, we went through a couple different options and we went with just your standard stainless steel one that comes off down to keep helping out with cleaning things. We have our water pump that comes in with a 25-gallon water tank in the back. Just cold water comes out. You don't have to have hot water in a van. It's not really necessary, and everything works off of cold water that we need. For our gray water tank, which is below our sink here, we have 2 ways of being able to drain our gray water. One that we mostly have when we're camping out is directly leads out to the van. We also have it on a hose to a quick disconnect that has a 5-gallon tank underneath when we're camping in cities or need to be a little bit more stealthy, that we just quickly connect to it.
Above our kitchen here we have 3 upper cabinets with pretty decent storage in here. We have these leather handles we decided to use. We were thinking about doing maybe like a metal or ones that come out a little bit more, but it's a lot easier not to have something super sticking out, especially for the lower cabinets. In this cabinet here we store our plates and cups, and as you can see we don't have many of any of them just because it's much easier to be minimal. We have these latches that we really like because they have not caused us any problems. You just let go and it clicks just like that. This one has dry food storage in it, and this one also has food in it, and we put our coffee in it. We use an AeroPress in here, so that's super important. On the far left side of our kitchen unit we have 4 sliding drawers that we have. This top one we use for just a junk drawer. Everyone has to have a junk drawer with a bunch of, extra miscellaneous things. This drawer we use for our utensils. We ended up just using these little containers for our forks and spoons, and underneath is more like sharp knives and spatulas, so you don't want to be putting your hand in here and getting your hand cut right away. We also have our kitchen towels in here and measuring cups. In here it's just more like food storage and everything. Down here we have our pots and pans, which isn't the most organized. Up above we have a beautiful open bookcase that I absolutely love because one, it gives it an aesthetic look, and two, it's just very nice to be able to be like, oh, I can read a book today, instead of just having it stored away somewhere you never see it.
And then underneath the bed here, we have our slide-out table that we use as an office desk and a dinner table as well. As main seating in our van, we built this bench that also houses our ice cold fridge underneath. It is a dual zone fridge, so we have a fridge in the front and a freezer in the back. We have it set up on a piano hinge, so you can flip up and get to the fridge if you'd like to, just like that. And then if you want to get to the freezer, we have the setup to flip this side up, flip that up, and then you can get to our freezer as well. The fridge holds groceries that last us about a week, so we don't have to constantly go to the grocery store.
Here we have the comfiest spot in the van. It's obviously our bed. We have a raised bed, so we were able to put a lot of storage in the garage, which was super helpful. We have no cabinets on this side, which is really nice, so that when we're sitting up in bed, since we lay this direction, we're able to sit up and not be bumping our heads on anything. And then on this side, we have two cabinets. Dave uses one and I use the other. They're quite big inside, and we actually use these containers to keep our clothes organized. So here we are in the garage, and you'll see why we have a raised bed. It's to store all of our gear. We have our rock climbing gear over here with our ropes and drawers, and we have another storage bin with extra home goods stuff and cooking supplies just to have on hand.
Behind me here, we have our electrical setup. We have a 300 amp hour lithium ion battery. Behind that is a 2000 watt inverter, which is all connected to our 420 watt solar panels. We also have it set up to charge our battery while we're driving, but we haven't switched that on. We haven't had a need for it. The solar panels have worked out and kept our battery above 90% at all times.
And behind me, you'll see our 25-gallon water tank.
So this concludes our van tour. This is our home on wheels. We're glad that you took a look at it. And if you'd like to check out our adventures and see any of the cool things that we're doing,
you can follow us on Instagram at Dave Van Alley. We hope to hear from you. If you have any questions, follow us. We'll link up. Yeah, hope to see you on the road somewhere.
I hope you enjoyed that video. If you hadn't noticed, we do sell an ebook for how to convert a van. It has over 190 pages of detailed instructions and diagrams, also 25 video tutorials which are specifically for the ebook buyer. Creating a van for many people is obviously a really intimidating project, but I really believe, and I've seen it time and time and time again, that with the right information, anyone can turn out with a pretty decent van conversion. So check the link in the description, subscribe to the channel if you are not already, and drop us a comment if you like this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.